Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons & Dragons primary competitor OSR games, a primary competitor, OSR games. And we love TTRPGs, fantastic, very freighted 1 minute short, where he says, hey, don't let problematic content keep you from playing OSR games. And he goes point by point, and he's like, hey, you should play OSR games for this reason. Now, I wanted to pick this up because I think he's being intellectually honest. I love that he's saying, hey, OSR has problematic content. Because so many grognards don't even, acknowledge that there's problematic content in these OSR games that they're calling people to. But there's a lot of it, right? And I love that he's calling this out. So today I want to dig into the next sentence in this freighted 1 minute short on saying, hey, don't let problematic content keep you from playing OSR games. And so he says, so we love TTRPGs. And by the way, if you want to see his short, the link's below. He says, okay, he's like, hey, we're all adults. No warning labels needed. You're like, wait, man. No, that is completely incorrect. So first of all, I don't think this guy understands how warning labels work, right? Like if the mine has a shaft that goes 40 foot deep, right? And you go wandering into the mine, you're going to fall into a 40 foot deep hole, right? And that's what this problematic content is. When you don't represent women correctly, when you don't put LGBTQ into your product, right? You purposely keep them out. If you don't do representation, if only people in your game are white people, these are all problems you will find in the 80s, 1980s OSR games he's talking about, right? You need to put a warning label up, right? Like it's not that the sign outside the mine isn't for 8-year-old Timmy. It's for 28-year-old Matthew and 48-year-old Karen, right? Like everybody needs to know this mine has shafts that are open that you can fall into and really hurt yourself, right? And the reality is this is ludicrous. Don't be calling people to play 1980s OSR games when there is a ton of amazing games right now that you can play that don't have these mine shafts. And the idea that you're just going to waltz in with 5 other players and all these players are going to be cool with misrepresentation of women, right? Of presenting women incorrectly, presenting marginalized groups not at all, presenting LGBTQ not at all, right? Presenting all and other issues. That's just the top 3, right? And that's all going to work out, and that you're also going to collect this table of non-monster humans is ludicrous. It's ludicrous, right? And what really does shock me is, why is this guy calling people to OSR games, right? Like, why is it important to him that you ignore completely fixed, good, safe versions of tabletop role-playing games so that you can go blow the dust off of the covers of these super problematic 80s games, right? And the reality is, one of the reasons I'm not positive, I don't know why. I know, and this guy is a mystery, because the vast majority of people who are calling you to these OSR games, they're horrible, prejudiced monsters, right? They're just monster people, and they want to draw you into the dungeon so that you can be corrupt with them, right? That's not the case with this guy, right? He has a genuine love of these old tabletop role-playing games, but I cannot tell you for the life of me what it is. And I will tell you right now, he's completely wrong. The dangers that surround these OSR games is way too, your time is valuable, right? And you should go play tabletop role-playing games that have fixed this in this large number of hyper dangerous issues, right? And the idea that, not representing women correctly, keeping LGBTQ completely out of the product, keeping marginalized groups out of the product, and 5 other problems I didn't even list is nothing, and that you don't even need warning labels is ludicrous. This is a very well-meaning gentleman who is just flat out wrong, right? And I'm here calling out, you definitely need to be very careful about this. And I don't think this gentleman means harm, but that doesn't mean he can't walk you dead into a 40-foot drop in the middle of a mine where trust and believe, going back and blowing the dust off of these 1980s OSR games, this is like, you need safety gear, or like this, the idea that you don't need labels is ludicrous, absolutely ludicrous, in my humble opinion. Every single word you just heard is my humble opinion. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion, when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.